Homeland Security was standing at my door with a gun pointed at my face saying that we are coming in to raid your house. And I kept saying, what's going on? What's going on? And they pretty much said to me that we're here to federally arrest your husband, to find out that he had been in the world of chat rooms and child pornography and sex addiction. I really had no clue. He traveled 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, so a lot of the illicit things were happening while he was traveling to Europe. A lot of the things were happening. He would spend a lot of time at his office while he was home. And during the middle of the night when he would just tell me that he couldn't sleep. He spent 3.5 years in the federal prison system, and he's now living within proximity so that he can now have visitation rights to see the children. At first I went there because I just needed to understand why I was consistently angry and had a hard time trusting everyone around me. And I started seeing a therapist on a regular basis and found that it wasn't the one-on-one that I needed, it was more of a group setting. And my last day of going to tell my therapist that we were going to end our sessions, there was only one seat left in the waiting room, and on that seat was a flyer for an addiction program. To especially have it in a Jewish setting was something that everyone in the group finds that they need. It brings it more personal to know that it does happen in the Jewish community, and there are ways and facilities and people around that with the same spiritual background as you can help move forward with all of the issues that come along with having someone that is an addiction problem in your life. Jewish Family Services and our group has given me a reason to hope, a reason to plan, and a reason to move forward, both for myself and for things that we have found that we can do for the community.
Sib Shops was a godsend for my family. Before we found Sib Shops, my middle son, Steven, really was in a tough situation. He was in the middle of 2 siblings, one with a developmental disability and another with a chronic illness. And Sib Shops was finally a place where he could say things about his siblings and he could feel safe. He wouldn't get in trouble for whatever he said. He could feel however he wanted to feel. And there were people there in the room, his peers, who felt the same way as he did. So he wasn't as alone anymore as he was before.
We have a snack. Sometimes play games, make an art project, and talk about our siblings and how we feel about them. Sib Shops, well, it's very private because if I talk about my siblings somewhere else, like in school, for example, there's just bullies, so I would think he would tease me.
My favorite project that Steven did when he was participating in Sib Shops is they were communicating with pen pals from another Sib Shop group in Florida.
Like one of my pen pals had a sibling who had Asperger's, and my older brother has it. So I don't feel embarrassed. Like if he has this temper tantrum, I don't feel like I'm the only brother or sister in the world that has a sibling that has those a lot.
He had the biggest smile I have ever seen on his face. He said, "Look, Mom, there's other kids who have brothers or sisters with autism." And so he loves coming here because this is his time. This is his protected time with his peers, and his siblings are not allowed to be a part of that.
I was diagnosed with HIV about 19 years ago, and 3 years ago I was diagnosed also with squamous cell cancers. Have had several procedures done to take care of that, and subsequently, due to my mental health from these things, I have not been able to work. Going through all the procedures from the cancer, it was just very debilitating emotionally, physically, energy-wise. It just took everything out of me. I felt useless and non-productive. And the more I thought about it, the worse it got. And I felt like there was no way out. And it was just it was like a domino effect. One thing led to another, to another, to another. And I just felt like I was digging in deeper instead of getting out. My lowest point was when I lost my home. That was the lowest point. I mean, it was very devastating, to the point where I did attempt to take my life. I finally got up the nerve to call, and I was connected with Claire, and she has been unbelievable. She is like, I've said this many times, and I can't say it enough, that she's like an angel sent from God. Anytime I had problems, I had problems focusing on doing paperwork and everything, and she would make me come in with all the papers, sit with me hours at a time to get them done, and so we could move forward and lift different issues off my life. One of the advantages with the JCC is they do have a food pantry available, and I did use it in the beginning because I was at a low point, and it really helped me get through a tight situation. But now that I am on a better path, I don't feel that I need it as much, but if I do, I know it's there for me to use. Well, there comes a time in everyone's life where I feel, reach a low point, and if someone is there that can help, take it. It works, and it makes your life so much better.